How's it going, everybody? Chris Cart's back through the mail. Monday, 5 returns for you today, including our very first return from North Texas, Texas. And we have an index card unsigned. My brother and mom live in Albany. Go Bulldogs. That's going to be the West Albany Bulldogs. And 2 high schools in Albany, the West Albany Bulldogs and the South Albany Redhawks, formerly of the Rebels, until the Rebel got canceled and they changed names to the Redhawks. We've got Dave Roberts here. That's right, third baseman / second baseman infielder Dave Roberts, not manager Dave Roberts, who played in the 2000s and, of course, is now managing the Dodgers. Dave Roberts, great return from him. Actually, #1 overall pick in 1972 draft by the Padres, straight out of the University of Oregon after his junior year. In fact, he skipped the minors, went straight to the major leagues with the Padres, spent 6 years with the Padres, also spent some time in Texas, Philadelphia, and Houston. Nice return from Dave Roberts. Even got a nice little one of those Gold Cup cards signed, which I used to have a plan to try to get as many of those signed as possible, but of course I had to narrow my collection down to basically just my signed sets because it was taking up too much of my time and money. So still like to get those Gold Cups or Trophy Cup cards signed when I can. Nice return from Dave Roberts. Awesome signer. Nice return from him. Moving on, my friends, to return number 2. All right, gang, next return is from Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona for return number 2. And we got Rene Latchman. Rene Latchman, brother of Marcel, who you saw me get Marcel Latchman back a few weeks ago. Rene signed the index card as well as a few cards, including 184 tops for the set. Nice return for Rene. He played for the Kansas City Athletics as well as the Oakland Athletics back in 1968. Got into 118 games total in 65 and 66 and 68 for the A's as a catcher and a pinch hitter. Of course, most notably known as a coach and a manager. He managed for the Mariners, Brewers, the Marlins, and the Cubs. Pretty much was a coach or a manager from the years 1985 all the way to 2016, including being on that coaching staff that won it all in 1989 in Oakland. So pretty cool that he won a ring with the team that he played for. Marcel Latchman, I do believe, had some Marlins rings. And I thought Rene was a part of the Marlins championship winning team as well, but maybe he wasn't there during their win in 97. Anyway, there you guys go. There's information. Awesome return from Rene Latchman. Moving on, my friends, to return number 3. Next return from Salt Lake City, Utah. You guys remember that movie SLC Punk? It's been a while since I've seen it. I don't remember too much about it, but I do remember the soundtrack being good, I think. Back when soundtracks meant something. We've got Cory Snder on a Flair card. Speaking of SLC, probably not a punk. He was at honoring the honor code at BYU. In fact, his first 3 at-bats for the BYU Cougars, he had 3 home runs on 3 consecutive pitches, which has got to be hard to do, especially in the 80s when the third pitch probably should have been up around his head. But he hit 3 out, 3 pitches, 3 at-bats. Drafted 4th overall, #1 round pick of the Indians back in 1984. Sean Abner, Bill Swift, Drew Hall went in front of him. Of course, not many crazy names in that first round. Mark McGwire went 10th overall to the A's. Glavine and Maddox went in the second round. So Mets, and many other teams kind of missed that draft, at least the first round of that draft. But he did play 9 years in the bigs, 5 with Cleveland. Also played for the Dodgers, Giants, White Sox, and the Toronto Blue Jays. Cory Snder, who I think only signs 2 cards. I think I was going to send him more cards, but I backed it down to my 2 favorites. So just keep in mind that he only signs 2 cards. So pick your 2 favorites out if you got more than 2 like me, as you see. I think, God, I really like that Bowman card. Let's be honest, guys. I'm going to send him that eventually, too. So those 2 cards look great. Flair cards. Back in the early 90s when I saw that set and had those cards in my hand, and I said to myself, oh, my goodness, these cards are getting incredibly awesome. I thought Flair was a beautiful set and it looks really good with some ink on it. I try to get them signed as much as possible, but I don't have too many Flair cards. But nonetheless, I'm rambling, my friends. Cory Snder, nice return from him. Took a while, but we finally got there with Cory. Thank you for the signed cards. They look beautiful. Moving on, my friends. Return number 4. Right, amigos. Just one more return after this one from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we have former Red Sox and Royals pitcher Steve Crawford on an 87 Topps card signed for my set. Also got him on a Leaf card and a Fleer card for good measure. 10-year career for Mr. Steve Crawford. 7 of those years with Boston, 3 with the Royals. Pretty decent reliever during that time. He did start 16 games in his 277-game career. Big dude, 6'5". Awesome return from Steve Crawford. Love getting those Leaf cards signed, by the way, too. What is that, 90 Leaf? Really cool. Of course, that was the Frank Thomas Leaf set. Everyone wanted that card. That used to be a lot of money. Not so much anymore, even though, I mean, Frank Thomas is a Hall of Famer. It's just don't think those cards are as rare as people thought they were going to be. Of course, that was back in the 90s. You know what happened then in the 80s and 90s. Lots of cards, lots and lots and lots of cards. Sets did not really retain their value, did they? Moving on, my friends, to return number 5. Final return of this week's Through the Mail Monday from Austin, Texas, / the Rio Grande District. Always got to get something from the Rio Grande District there in Texas. And we've got Rob Sparing on an Astros card, even though he only spent 1 year with the Astros, his final year in the Bigs there in that 1978 Topps card. Most notably known as a Cub. 4 years in the Bigs total, 3 with the Cubs, 1 with Houston as an infielder. Got into a sporadic amount of games during his time as an infielder. 1974, I think he came up with the Cubs. I don't know. Of course, couldn't go a week without throwing a Cub out there for Cory and his Cubs. Don't think he will remember Rob Sparing, as he played very sparingly. And nice return from him. He did inscribe both cards. I think I just asked him to inscribe the Cubs card, because that was his debut team. Not really relevant if they inscribe the team that they didn't play for his card, but you know what? These guys can do whatever they want and write us whatever they want on the card. I don't care. Just as long as they get them back, I'm pretty happy about it. So there's information. Jonesboro, Texas. Nice return from Mr. Rob Sparing. And that'll do it for this week's Through the Mail Monday, my friends. Thank you for watching. Put it in the books. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit the dislike button. Do whatever you guys want to do. I don't care. Love it. Going to put out another one next week. Should be getting some more returns back. Number 340 next Monday. Should be putting some more returns back. I think I put out 30 in the last couple days, so I mailed out 30 or so on, I think, Thursday and Friday. So I'll probably get about half of those back in about a 2 or 3 day period in the next week or so. So hopefully I'll start getting a little bit longer Through the Mail Mondays. Of course, 5 returns, pretty weak for me, but it's a little bit quicker video, so that's nice. Of course, my Sunday, as I'm filming this, is filled with watching the Mets try to not get swept by the Reds, even though they're doing pretty good right now. It seems like every team the Mets have been facing has been on a hot streak, or the Mets have started their hot streak. So, nonetheless, frustrating. So, frustrating life as a Mets fan, of course. A lot of you guys don't have any sympathy for me. The Mets are a fairly hated team in the Bigs. Hopefully not more hated than the Phillies and the Yankees, but probably in the top 5. Astros are slipping. People have forgotten about the whole garbage can incident, so they're not, they're not racking up World Series every year. I know they just won not that long ago, but if they won the last couple of years, maybe it would have been a different story with the Astros. But I think they're slipping. A lot of those players have moved on to other teams, though. They still have Altuve, so there is that to hold on to, your hatred. So anyway, my friends, that is it for this week's Through the Mail Monday. Saw Tanya Tucker on Saturday last night, or 2 nights ago, as you're watching this, with my mom. Took her to the casino and saw Tanya Tucker, 66 years young. Put on a pretty good show. She can still sing, even though she's got all kinds of issues apparently with her. So and she told us all about them, and then of course all the people that she knows that are no longer with us. So it was a little depressing show, but the music was great in between the story time. Tanya Tucker. Is it Tanya Tucker? Tanya, or is it Tanya? There's an A in there. Tanya Tucker? She's from Texas. Maybe the Rio Grande district. I'm not sure. Somewhere around there, I think. Maybe. Maybe not. Anyway, guys, that is it. Tanya Tucker, Ned Ledoux, of course, like Craig said, a little modern country. And wasn't Bob Wills or the Carter sisters or anybody. So definitely new school country, even though she started back in 1974 at the age of 13 with her hit Delta Dawn. So she's been singing for a long time, performing for a long time. I think she was on the Hee Haw show way back in the 70s. Her first 70s was her first professional appearance, I think, at that young of an age, her first national television appearance way back in the day. So she was signing autographs after the show up by the stage. I didn't really have anything for her to sign, although she had signed albums for $50. It's a little bit steep. I'm not sure. I'd like to get autograph stuff, but I didn't have anything for her to sign, so we just left. And yeah, it was a good show. A lot of fun. Yeah, that's it, my friends. That was my weekend in a nutshell. And hope everyone out there had a great weekend as well. Hope everyone has a great week. And we will do this again in 1 week's time on Monday, the 28th of July. Geez, July has just flown by. So we got Through the Mail Monday number 340 coming up next week, 1 week's time. Stay tuned for that. Of course, I got that 74 Tops update video I'm going to put out Friday. And we'll see you for that one as well. Thank you for watching, guys. See ya.